Welcome to the Resilient Path with Fran Evans. Thank you to the ones who are walking this path with me and to the ones joining for the first time. It is good to have you here. Today's message is from Genesis 20. Genesis 20 opens with, "Now Abraham moved on from there into the region of Negev and lived between Kadesh and Shur. For a while he stayed in Gerar. And there Abraham said of his wife Sarah, 'She is my sister.' Then Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her." Genesis 13 says that Abram lived in the land of Canaan. Genesis 20 says he moved on and stayed in Gerar for a while. In Genesis 12, when Abram was afraid for his life in Egypt, he told Sarai to say, "You are my sister." Now in Genesis 20, Abraham said to Abimelech, "She is my sister." But God came to Abimelech in a dream one night and said to him, "You are good as dead because of the woman you have taken. She is a married woman." Now Abimelech had not gone near her. So he said, "Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Did he not say to me, 'She is my sister'? And didn't she also say, 'He is my brother'? I have done this with a clear conscience and clean hands." Abimelech responds to the Lord in the dream is fascinating to me. He knew he had not touched Sarah, and he had taken Sarah because Abraham told him she is his sister. His response does not read as if he was afraid. It reads like a man who knows he did not do anything wrong. In other words, I have done nothing wrong to Abraham and his wife to deserve death. Both Abraham and Sarah told me that they were siblings. How is this my fault? How have I offended them? I took Sarah with a clear conscience, and my hands are clean. Then God said to him in a dream, "Yes, I know you did this with a clear conscience, and so I have kept you from sinning against me. This is why I did not let you touch her. Now return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all yours will die." God saying to Abimelech in the dream, "Yes, I know. You did it with a clear conscience, so I've kept you from sinning against me." When I read that, I hear, "Yes, it is because I know your conscience is clear, because you do not know that Sarah is Abraham's wife, is why I have appeared to you in a dream to tell you she is a married woman and to return her to her husband." Not only did God tell Abimelech who Sarah was, he told him what would happen if he returned her to Abraham, as well as what would happen if he did not. Abimelech had to make a choice. Keep Sarah and you die. Return her and you live. God intervened in the dream because he knew Abimelech did not have the correct details about Abraham and Sarah. The Lord knew that Abimelech's conscience was clean. I view that as protection, the Lord providing the truth and giving Abimelech an opportunity to make his choice. Notice God did not say, "You better return Sarah to Abraham." God said, "Now return the man's wife, for he's a prophet and will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all yours will die." God told Abimelech to return Sarah to Abraham, and what would happen if he returned her, and what would happen if he did not. The choice to live or die was Abimelech to make, and the consequence would follow according to the choice he made. This is consistent with the Lord's character and how he interacted with humans thus far from Genesis 1 to Genesis 20. Looking all the way back to Genesis 2, verse 15 to 17. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. And the Lord God commanded the man, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For when you eat from it, you will surely die." The Lord gives the choices and the consequences, and we make our decisions. God told Abimelech that Abraham is a prophet. This is the first time since the Lord called Abraham in Genesis 12 that he has identified him as a prophet. The Lord chose Abraham and gives the reason why he chose him in Genesis 18, verse 19. "For I have chosen him, so that he will direct his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord, by doing what is right and just, so that the Lord will bring about for Abraham what he has promised him." Genesis 20 is the first time the Lord called Abraham a prophet. In Hebrew, according to Google, a prophet is a divine mouthpiece, an ultimate representative of God, an individual chosen to act as a divine messenger, serving as a spokesperson who communicates God, will, truth, and teaching to humanity. God told Abimelech, "For he's a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. But if you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all yours will die." Early the next morning, Abimelech summoned all his officials, and when he told them all that had happened, they were very much afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham in and said, "What have you done to us? How have I wronged you, that you have brought such great guilt upon me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that should not be done." And Abimelech asked Abraham, "What was your reason for doing this?" In other words, Abimelech is saying, "Why did you tell me that Sarah is your sister when she's your wife?" Abraham replied, "I said to myself, there is surely no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she really is my sister, the daughter of my father, though not of my mother, and she became my wife. And when God had me wander from my father's household, I said to her, 'This is how you can show your love to me. Everywhere we go, say of me, he is my brother.' I noticed Abraham said, 'I said to myself,' which means it was his own thinking, his assumption that the fear of God was not in Gerar. Genesis 20 does not give any other details as to why Abraham thought that to himself, and openly shared his assumption with the king of Gerar and all his officials. I do not know whether Abraham's assumption of Gerar is correct or incorrect, but what I know from Genesis 20 is this. After Abraham told Abimelech that Sarah is his sister, the Lord appeared to Abimelech in a dream. The Lord acknowledged that Abimelech acted with a clear conscience. The Lord told him, I have kept you from sinning against me. Return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. If you do not return her, you may be sure that you and all yours will die. Then Abraham said, They will kill me because of my wife. Because of Sarah's beauty, Abraham believed that they would kill him. Abraham's fear of getting killed because Sarah is beautiful is not new. It connects back to Genesis 12, when Abram and Sarai went down to Egypt because of the famine. Genesis 12 says, As he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, This is his wife? Then they will kill me, but will let you live. Say you are my sister, so that I'll be treated well for your sake, and my life will be spared because of you. This stands out to me because in Genesis 12, when Abram told Sarai to say, You are my sister, it made me pause, and I thought to myself, and even said out loud, why would Sarai say she's his sister when she's his wife? Why go along with that lie and allow herself to be taken into Pharaoh's palace? Why take it to that level knowing what was going to happen when she goes to the palace? But even more bothersome to my mind was this. Even if Abraham was afraid for his life, how could he willingly send his wife to another man, knowing what the Lord had said to him when he called him in Genesis? Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse, and all people on earth will be blessed through you. Genesis 12, 1-3. Genesis 20 provides more context about why both Abraham and Sarah said they were siblings. They have the same father, but not the same mother. So neither one of them lied when they said, he is my brother or she's my sister. But also, Abraham and Sarah had made an agreement. Abraham told Sarah, this is how you can show your love to me. Everywhere we go, say of me, he is my brother. Now I'm going to add this part from my thoughts. This is about Sarah being very beautiful. Because of Sarah's beauty, Abraham said he would be treated well and his life will be spared in Genesis 12. Fascinating to me. What is the message being communicated here about a woman who is beautiful? To you listening, I'm curious to know. Leave a comment if you care to share and discuss further. Verse 14. Then Abimelech brought sheep and cattle and male and female slaves and gave them to Abraham. And he returned his wife to him. And Abimelech said, My land is before you. Live wherever you like. So after Abraham gave his reasons to Abimelech for why he did what he did to him, Abimelech responded with generosity. Abimelech obeyed God and returned Abraham's wife to him, and gave Abraham livestock and the opportunity to live wherever he wanted on his land in Gerar. To Sarah he said, I am giving your brother 1,000 shekels of silver. This is to cover the offense against you before all who are with you. You are completely vindicated. Genesis 20 says a lot about Abimelech. He listened when the Lord appeared and spoke to him in a dream. He explained that he acted with a clear conscience. He obeyed the Lord's instructions. He confronted Abraham directly and returned Sarah. He gave Abraham gifts and allowed Abraham to remain in the land. He spoke directly to Sarah, addressing the offense, and publicly declared her vindicated. Verse 17 says, Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his slave girls, so they could have children again. For the Lord had closed up every womb in Abimelech's household because of Abraham's wife, Sarah. So in verse 7, God told Abimelech that Abraham is a prophet and he will pray for him so he will live. And in verse 17, Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his slave girls so they could have children again. In Genesis 20, the Lord intervened. The Lord revealed truth. The Lord acknowledged a clear conscience and clean hands. The Lord protected. The Lord gave instructions. The Lord gave choices and consequences. The Lord identified Abraham as a prophet. And the Lord kept his word. What does Genesis say about relationship, flesh, spirit, and the order of the Lord God Almighty? Genesis 20 is about deception, assumption, divine intervention, protection, and obedience. It shows how human fear and assumption can create confusion in relationships, and how the Lord intervened, revealed the truth, gave instruction, and restored order. I encourage you to read Genesis 20 for yourself. Learn about the Lord God Almighty. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned. Genesis 21, coming soon. Until next time, this is Fran Evans with The Resilient Path.